Hey everybody, you again are listening to the PlayStation Forecast, episode 29. Nuts. I am your host, as always, Alex Derrickson, and I hope you guys are doing great. I feel rejuvenated. I feel really good. Just feeling positive this week, heading into, like I said last week, I took some time off my real work to get caught up on some stuff. We're going to talk about that because I have a lot of games to talk about. Which also explains a bit more of my haggard appearance in a way too, because you just take time off work, you end up getting all your mail redirected to 2148 Don't Give a Fucksville, Street, Court, Avenue, Boulevard, wherever you choose to let your not giving a shit reside. That's your decision. I think I'm a fine like Boulevard. Get the nice median down the street, have some trees, maybe some poplars planted. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, feeling good, feeling positive. It's a good feeling. So, like I said last week, took some time off of work to get caught up on some games. The long running joke of this show has been that not so much that I haven't finished God of War, but that I probably never will finish God of War, so much so that I went back and platinumed Spider-Man before I got back into God of War. Well, these 5 days were dedicated almost specifically to finishing God of War, to hunkering down, putting the anchors in the ground, letting the boat stay out in the ocean until I finish this for 5 days. Listeners, and viewers, I'm proud to tell you, I did not finish God of War in 5 days. I finished it in 1. I could not stop. So where we left off when I played it, so I booted it up, put the disc in, started it up, got to the menu, went to load game. So God of War released on April 20th, the same time as the much more critically regarded Nintendo Labo. And I saw that the file date, the save date, was April 24th. So 4 days after release was my last save. And I thought to myself, that can't be right. There's no way. There's no way I only got to play this for 4 days before my life just streamlined into chaos. And so I went to the other PS4 that I use for game capturing, because I knew that was the last place I played it. But my saves, like my save uploads go from the Pro, so I was like, maybe I'll pull the save from the streaming PS4 and we'll take a look, because 4 days doesn't sound right. And I was right. It was April 25th. I got 5 days before my life just circled the drain and went nuts. So uploaded that save to the cloud. God bless PS Plus, and I went out to the living room. I grabbed my son. I set him down and I said, "You are 8 months old and you don't understand what I'm saying, but this is all we're doing today. And I'm not going to stop until this, and I'll feed you and I'll change you. I'll do all the dadly things I need to do." The kid napped like a champion. So fortunately I had that going for me. But without getting into spoilers, I have finished God of War. It is probably the best game I've ever played, if not the best game I've ever played. And that is not hyperbolic. I try to do this show without hyperbole, unless, I'm being ridiculous. This is unequivocally, inarguably, the best game I've ever played. I know I've said many times throughout the now almost 30 weeks we've done this show, a perfect game does not exist. And bear in mind when I say this, there was a spot early on when in the first 5 days that I played it, that I did get stuck during a puzzle and I kind of fell through and I couldn't get out. I landed in a position and a spot in a part of the world I could not get out of. I had to restart and come back. There's also a spot when rowing in this most recent run through the game, which apparently, according to the email I got from Sony, was 10 hours. Uh, so there was a spot where I was rowing, and I had to jump back to like the dashboard of the PS4, do something else, hop out, jump back into the game, and it got framey as shit. I don't think that's really the game's fault. That's probably more me jumping from one spot while the game was in motion into doing something else quickly and jumping back into the game and trying to resume and catch up to where it was and get to where it needed to be. But it dipped to probably like 10 frames per second, maybe like 9. It was really, really, really framey, really, really jarring. Again, probably not the game's fault because I never saw that anywhere else. With those transgressions forgiven, this is a perfect game. Uh, I think from the story that it tells, from the gameplay to the nuances within how like they use the actual vibration in the controller, uh, the story it weaves, the lore, the characters, just everything about it. I made a joke tweet because I went and saw my parents this weekend, and I was like, "Oh, my family, how's your time off work going?" And it just led to me going into this, small critique of God of War, and the spot that I highlighted was that I said it was understated in this tweet. It was understated that there is no combat while you're in the boat, and that's something I really just wanted to talk about here because I loved that. I loved the fact that amidst the chaos of this journey, amidst moving from each different realm and the realm between realms and things like that, if you were in the boat, you were safe. You were free to hear the lore. You were free to explore. You were free to just listen to the conversations between Atreus and Kratos and the third character that I won't name just in case spoilers, because I don't know what y'all consider spoilers and don't consider spoilers. So just that, like, that was so nice and comforting. Like, when I got in the boat, it was calm. It was this respite. It was this, like, kind of just moment to exhale among everything else that was going on, among this giant just world, this epic tale that, Cory Barlog and the rest of the team at Sony Santa Monica took us on. The ending, I can't rave about enough. Like, I woke up Friday morning at about 6 a.m. and I looked at my wife while she was getting ready for work. I literally was like, "Good morning. So the ending of God of War was really cool. Here's what happened." And I just told her about it. It really is like chills inducing how great it is. And it sets up not just for a sequel, but sequels to come. Because as it goes through it, just quietly and slowly answers a ton of questions, and it lets you build up your own expectations only to have the game subvert them, for you to be, "Oh, we're going to fight this person and this person and this person because that's the God of War puzzle. That's the God of War hierarchy of boss fights." And it wasn't. It stayed consistent. It was never flat, but it was consistent. I could go on for a long, long time about this, and we're already almost 10 minutes in, so I'm not gonna stick with that with God of War. But oh my god, it's my game of the year right now. I know Red Dead's coming out here in a couple weeks, and so that's kind of gonna be in flux and motion as I work my way through that towards the end of the year. But I don't plan on picking any other Jesus, any of the other like AAA releases. Like, I know, unless Call of Duty comes back with like 9s and 10s, I'm probably gonna skip it. Same kind of goes for Battlefield. I don't think Tomb Raider's really gonna fall in any sort of reputable realm for me for Game of the Year discussions or anything like that. If I played a game like Tomb Raider or Assassin's Creed Odyssey, right? What it would do would maybe take over the third or fourth place Game of the Year title for me. So there's that part of me that's like, I don't really need to jump into these right now. Like, they're not going to be part of my end of the year discussion. Like, if I'm breaking out a top 5, top 10, yeah, I would need to play them. But if I'm just going to, when we get to the end of the year, or I guess maybe the first of 2019, and when we talk our game of the years and characters of the year and do our 2018 superlative episode, which I'm working on right now, it's not going to be in the discussion. Like if I do like best genre specific game, I could see it, but I'm trying to maybe dance around that because games are expensive and I don't just get AAA titles for free. So that would be something out of my own money that would just be so unbelievably anxiety inducing for me to try and play through because I this isn't my full time job. You know, I got to use pay time off just to finish one game. Uh, moving on from God of War, because I don't want to stick on that too long, because I easily could. If you haven't played it, play it. If you didn't like the other God of War games, you're in the same camp as me, and this is an absolutely extraordinary experience. And it's one that I cried. I had a lot of different, like, I laughed a few times. Like, it's such a, just this horn of plenty of emotions. But the big thing for me was, and it's a moment, it's an experience that I don't think many people will have, you know, comparatively to mine, was just the joy and pleasure I had of playing that game next to my son. That to me will be, you know, he'll never remember it, but I'll never forget it. And for to play a game that's this tandem father son, you know, escort mission, the game basically, if we're just boiling it down to its most, you know, native roots here, to watch these two characters bond while I shared this time, you know, with my son and stuff like that. It was a really awesome experience. I'm really happy I played it that way, and it's something, like I said, that I'll never forget to watch. You know, because there is so much like truth in it from a parenting perspective, talking about like, you know, it's a sins of a father kind of deal, and it's something that will definitely stick and resonate with me. And I think it's a game that I feel like when the credits rolled, I walked away from somewhat a better person. So it was kind of almost like a religious experience with me. So it hit me on various levels, you know, emotionally, physically, critically, and it's something I won't forget. And I don't think I'll go and platinum it because I know I didn't do a lot of this, any really of the side stuff or the ancillary tasks and things like that. So it's not something for me that I think I'll go back and do if it's not within the next like 12 or 18 months. I could see myself doing it, but right now I don't want to get tired of that game. Like I'm sad that it's over, you know, main quest wise, but I don't want to go back and do anything that bores me or maybe sullies the experience I had right now. I want this to stay fresh for as long as I can. Played more Super Mega Baseball too. Nothing more I can really say there. I'm just in love with that game. It is the most beautiful palate cleanser that I've had this year. Finished my season in that, won the league championships. Go Moonstars. Next thing I moved to was NASCAR Heat 3. So, fun fact about me, I was in the mid to late 90s a real just diehard NASCAR fan. Loved it. It's a weird time in my life. One thing I never stopped loving, though, was the NASCAR video games. Those things are just fun as hell. It's been a while since they've been good, and the one I always kind of hung my hat on is NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup, and I think I've talked about that here. So I had the opportunity to get a code for NASCAR Heat 3, and I said, you know what? It's been many moons since I have partaken in a new NASCAR game. I literally stopped at NASCAR Chase for the Cup. So it's been, I don't know really how they numbered the years back then. I don't know if '05 came out in '04. I'm assuming not, since the NASCAR season runs the same calendar year, but that's neither here nor there. So we'll say 13 years since I've played a new NASCAR game. So I fired this up. I got a code for it. So this was provided by the PR team and the publisher. The game itself was made in Unity, which I was immediately taken aback by, because I'm like, this is a fully fledged, like, there's career modes, there's exhibitions, there's seasons, there's creative players and creative drivers rather, and the like. And it was a fully fleshed out, like, full sports, like, racing NASCAR simulator. And I was already taken aback because I'm like, really, Unity, and not like a proprietary engine. Uh, Played that. Uh, I tweeted about it a little bit because I had just done a quick race while the rest of the it's one of those games that it installs like halfway, then you can play it, but you're only on limited, availability on the other modes. And did a quick start race. Didn't like how there wasn't really any car damage. I talked about that. But after it was installed, got back in, turned damage on, had access to the options, turned damage on, and really had a lot of fun. A couple things from like a technical standpoint, the stuff that's supposed to look good, like the cars and the tracks, do really look good. The It plays honestly like the EA Sports NASCAR games. It plays like the Papyrus NASCAR games from PC if you're an elderly like I am and you remember those. uh the actual like racing aspect of it feels good. It's built on a really, it's got such good bones to it, and like the skeleton of the game itself is really good. Outside of that, I didn't get into the creator or like the career mode and like the creator driver stuff. I just kind of like fudged around with the quick races and just looked at the tracks and stuff like that. The background stuff, the textures are really bad. They're kind of like clay based in a way, and they just look kind of incomplete. And I can understand like I made a comment to a buddy of mine that I was playing the game with. I had said that it's almost like when they made the game, they thought, well, what's the point of stuff looking good if you're driving past it at 160 miles per hour? And in a way, I understand that mindset, but it just seems like such a missed opportunity. Going a step further, the driver models look okay. The other models look not good at all. It's when you starting to see the cracks in the game itself. Like I said, I do want to get into more modes with it because I don't know. I can always use a good like low key NASCAR game. It's in my blood. It's in my veins. It has been since I was a young child pre Y2K. And so I'll probably get back in there, but right now just kind of like looking at it as what I've done with it so far. The stuff that looks good should look good. The lighting looks good on the cars. The damage is good. Some stuff kind of like when you hit the wall, the stuff that flakes off looks meh. Kind of samey each time, regardless of where you're hitting. The one thing I really did like is your pit crew communicates to you through the speaker in your DualShock. I thought that was a really nice implementation of using that function. I'm always down for gimmicky stuff like that. It's kind of just a quick look at that one. Next thing was Pato Box, which was the Alex Derrickson game of the week last week. It is a fully, again, this was provided by Bromio, the developer. They it's a Punch Out clone. Like if you're looking, it's Punch Out with a lot of fat to it, and it's this black and white art style. I haven't played it on the Vita. It definitely seems like a game that would be more suited for the Vita. But I got into the actual story mode of it a little bit and moving around like the different levels as you slowly work your way to the boss, and each boss is combo timer, and you've got to like time your punches with their attacks and things like that. But they're in these different settings, like in a kitchen, and you're trying to like make a soup and then things like that. It's uh there's some depth issues in terms of how it looks just because everything is so like black and white literally. But the cutscenes are all done as like a comic book, which looks really cool. The actual gameplay, if you liked Punch Out, you'll like Pato Box. I did find myself kind of wanting to speed through everything between the boss fights to get to the boss fights, because that's really where the game shines, and everything else feels like a lot of fat, and which is unfortunate because the main component of the game is a ton of fun. Like it's difficult. Uh, it's it's very mesmerizing in a way because you're just kind of just watching it, and that's when stuff looks good. And that's when the depth. That's when it plays to like that kind of 2D plane. Uh, but it's when you're moving around these different levels and things like that. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I'm trying to figure out right now if it's worth it to get through that to do the stuff that I really do like. Uh, Next game was Brawlout. The developer of this escapes me, but Brawlout is a platform mascot fighter. It's a Smash Bros. Clone. Uh, the so a couple of the notable characters in it. Ukulele's in it. Juan from Guacamelee in it, and then the main person from Dead Cells is getting added as DLC. Again, this was a code that was provided. I mean, it's not. I don't like it. I did the tutorial. I did a little bit of the arcade. It's a tower. Like it's very Mortal Kombat-y in terms of like progressing the arcade system. It's just a tower fighter where you're just like, oh, you fight this guy, then you move up, and you fight this guy. That's how the fighters are stacked. It's in like a tower. Uh, I don't know. It's Smash Brothers without the heart and soul that makes Smash Brothers special. And it's what separates it from a Smash Brothers or a PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale is the fact that if you're going to have a mascot fighter, you've got to have a mascot that people give a shit about. And they're pulling mascots in like Juan and like Ukulele and like from Dead Cells, but the other characters are just people that are made for this game. So it's a game where you can be like, yeah, I can find a guy that I like here, but like you don't have that same attachment to it like you have like a Kirby or a Wario or a Mario or a Dr. Mario or a Samus or Zero Suit Samus, or Sheik or Zelda or Link. It's you don't have those known quantities, and I went straight for Juan because I'm like, I know Juan, I love Juan, I love Guacamelee, like I'm going to main Juan. I don't give a shit about these other characters. And when the Dead Cells character is available, I might hop back in there and play as him for a little bit. But I don't. It feels just vacant to me, almost vapid in a way, where it's just I don't know. It's without. It's like it's trying to fill a void, but it's just another void. Uh, not a huge fan of that one. I'm gonna try and get videos of most of these up too, but just life. Played more Battle Chef Brigade. I just love that game. My big complaint with that, it finally hit with me. Why my gripe about Battle Chef Brigade on PS4 and why I think it was such a huge hit on the Switch is this game isn't a game that you sit down to play hours of. This is a game you play between games. This is a game you play on the road. This is a game that you would play on your bus ride to your job or from your job or on like a trip. It is a game that screams meant to be handheld. Because like I said, it's the loop is there, then it's fine, but it's not something that like I'm going to just sit through Battle Chef Brigade and burn through 6-9 hours, however long it is, in one sitting. It's not a game that you can do that in and feel good about yourself afterwards. And that's kind of where I got with is I did like a battle and some like side mission stuff, and I'm like, I love this game, but I'm good with it right now. Like I'm good. If I had to like go somewhere and needed to take like my Vita with me, if it was on my Vita, or if it was on Vita, just period, or if I had a Switch, I could see where I would have this game finished because this screams to be played portably. Other than that, I love it. That's a lot of fun. Then finally, the last game I played this week, besides introducing Donut County to 3 other people, I'm doing the work. I love Donut County, and I want everyone to play it. Play Donut County, like I said, introduce 3 people to it, and I watched my wife beat it in one sitting. And the last game I played though was Detroit Become Human. That was the other game I was trying to get through uh, while I was off. Didn't happen. I got probably about a fifth to a quarter of the way into it, and I made a half joke. It's very true. Joke on Twitter. I'd taken a photo of the menu and I said Detroit Become Human's the prettiest game I've ever played, and I've only completed the language settings. And I firmly stand by that statement a few hours into this game. It is gorgeous. Like, I can see why they're like, we can't add a photo mode. There's nothing else we can do to the game. It's full. It is a breathtakingly stunning game. I can already see where the story is going to get a little heavy-handed in terms of beating you over the head with the moral of it. but it's well acted. It's really cool and weird to see Lance Henriksen in a game as a massive Aliens fan to be like, that's Bishop. That's not this guy, that's Bishop. And then seeing like Clancy Brown in there and being like, Mr. Krabs is a drunkard. But it's like, I really think I'm going to really, really enjoy this over the next few days. Hopefully, have more to report on Detroit next week. But that is it for the games I played this week, which means 25 minutes into the show, I can finally tell you that this is the PlayStation Forecast, and it does come to you each and every week at every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube.com/PressX2Alex and podcast services across the planet. If you like the show and you want your voice to be heard, you can write into psforums.pressx2alex.com and submit your questions, comments, conversations, topics, whatever you want to do, and you'll probably get read on the air. Because doing this by myself is difficult, so having some other voices involved always helps and helps build this show's little community. And if you want to support the show, as I've said so many times before, this little labor of love is entirely self-produced and self-funded. So the best way to spread the love is to spread the word. Tell your friends, your family, your mailman, whoever you got to do, your bagger at your local grocery store, or get on Apple Podcasts if you are one of the many, many people who listen to this show week in and week out on Apple Podcasts, and leave a review just like so many of you did this week. We're now up to 70. Remember, I'm trying to get this to 100. So if you listen to Apple Podcasts, I'm trying to get to 100 5-star reviews. All you got to do is tap the 5 stars. If you're feeling extra generous and you want to take a couple extra seconds out of your day, write a review just like Cool D335 did, where he wants you to press X on this podcast. Besides being outrageously sexy, thanks. Alex's podcast is a must for any serious or non-serious gamer. I've found so many new, different, and interesting games and franchises thanks to this podcast, and I would have never played without hearing about it here first. An absolute and total recommend. Thank you. Black Pony says, really great, informative, and consistent podcast. Every Tuesday, 9 a.m. Nah, I'm not going to miss a Tuesday. You're gonna, unless there's like an embargo. I'll always let you know. Gray Matter 86 says, great podcast, a great podcast for PlayStation fans, very informative and very knowledgeable host. Thank you. I try very hard. And Tyler James Stone said this guy emoji, and then this guy emoji, and then this emoji, and says hi with this emoji. Hey Tyler, I hope you're doing well. That is all that. So if you want to support the show, subscribe on YouTube if you watch it every week. Thank you so much. I know content is sparse here right now. Working on it. It's hard. It's a lot of time. And if you listen to it week in and every single week, thank you again so much. Y'all are crazy. I would have never imagined this. I say this every week. Your continued support means the absolute world to me. And if you want to spread the word, please tell anyone you can about it. Go on the place on reddit.com/r/PS4 and post about this show, because I'm not allowed to, because self-promoting is not allowed. I tried it. I didn't want to be one of those guys who like, look at the podcast I found, because that's lying. And I try really hard not to be a liar, That's the easy way out. There's no easy way out. There's no shortcut home. Give it in, can't be wrong. Give it in, can't be wrong. No, without further ado. 1/2 hour in. Thanks for sticking in. Let's get into the news. I'm going to try and make this a little brief because the show's already getting real stretched. This is from Jason Schreier of Kotaku, where there's a leaked video that seems to show an open world Harry Potter game. This came out like right after I posted the episode. I was so mad last week. A video leaked by a Reddit user who says they captured it from a focus group shows an apparent big budget Harry Potter game that looks fantastic. Publisher Warner Brothers has yanked the video from YouTube, but you can watch a mirror, and there's a link there. Whether the mirror is still up at this point, I don't know. The footage shows, among other things, wizards in Hogwarts Academy casting spells, alchemical experiments, owls and magical beasts, and even a glimpse of the whimsical village of Hogsmeade, located right near Hogwarts campus. The Reddit leaker, who goes by Vape This Bro, because journalism is at a 10 right now, describes the game as a third-person open-world action game in which you customize your own wizard, a fifth-year student at Hogwarts. Observers early this morning theorized that the game might be made by Arkham developer Rocksteady Studios, but we don't believe that's the case. From what I've heard, Rocksteady is still sticking to superheroes. One possibility is that the game is in development at Avalanche Software, the Utah-based company that was once owned by Disney before it was temporarily shut down in 2016, then brought back to life by Warner Brothers. Job listings dug up in early 2017 for Avalanche Software, not to be confused with Just Cause developer Avalanche Studios, which is based in Sweden and New York City, certainly point to a game like this, saying, quote, "We are looking for a talented storyteller with a deep understanding of British culture and grammatical presentation," end quote. So then it speculates when we might see the game, probably 2020. If you haven't seen the trailer for it, go rooting for it. Go try to find it. It looks really cool. Like a Harry Potter open world RPG. That ticks so many boxes. Not much to report on outside of that. It's allegedly based in the 1800s, so it'll allow Avalanche, if that's true, will allow Avalanche to kind of tell their own story without people being like, "Where's Harry? Where's Voldemort? Where's Hermione?" Which is good. It frees you up from expectations to really focus on the environments and the worlds and making the setting as much of a character as the characters. In terms of like scope and everything like that, the trailer, I mean, like the video and everything it looks and scores. It looked like and was scored as if it was a trailer, like without a title at the beginning and like a stinger at the end letting you know when it was coming. It's cut together and scored like it's an actual like reveal trailer that, I mean, you could see totally speculating on my end, something that like Paris Games Week or the Game Awards. Like that's how far along that trailer looked. And I don't know, looks cool as hell. Something to keep your eyes on. It got a lot of people hyped, and much like a lot of people, I saw that and went, I didn't know I want this, but now I really want it. So hopefully it doesn't seem like no one's come out and been like, yeah, sorry, this was something we were, like a Battlefront 3 thing. Where it's like, this was something we were doing, but it's canceled now. But fortunately for us, Avalanche didn't make haze and then go out of business. So if you haven't seen the trailer, check it out. A lot to be excited about there, though. I really do like the idea of it being so far ahead or so far, like as a prequel. That's loose. That's a more literal term there, but so far before the lore that we know, that it kind of will let you see. Like I say, it lets the world kind of be a character. It gives you more the opportunity to travel to these places that so many people know and love and want and wish were real. This will give you that kind of like escapism without having to worry about them janking something up that ruins something else for you. Really excited. Hopefully that works, and we'll see something more soon. Next news story comes from Allegra Frank at Polygon, where November's PlayStation Plus games are revealed in brief as an early leak. Just days into October, Sony has already revealed that November's PlayStation Plus games will be, or what November's PlayStation Plus games will be. But this appears to have been a clear mistake, with the announcement already gone less than an hour after it went live. Early this morning, the PS Plus page on the PlayStation website showed not this month's games for members, but the two headlining PlayStation 4 titles for November. Those games are Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition and Yakuza Kiwami, which are considerably more exciting than October's offerings. I don't need that editorializing. This month's offerings, were fine. I want to play 2064, and I want to play Friday the 13th, and I didn't want to put money in either of those. No offense. But, I'll never say no to free games. Anything that's free is fine. That's just me. Back to the article. It's since gone back to normal. However, there's a link in the article directs to a basic subscription purchase page. There are several weeks for Sony to change up November lineup, of course, but we can't imagine why. Yakuza Kiwami in particular is a choice title for anyone looking to get into the acclaimed brawler/comedy action series This Guy Over Here. Humor runs through the November PS4 headliners. In fact, Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition is a remaster of the similarly goofy last-gen shooter. Until then, PS Plus subscribers can bide their time with Friday the 13th and Laser League this the PS4 games available throughout October. The Yakuza games have been, as a Shenmue fan, the Yakuza games have been something I've wanted to play, but as they're spaced out through multiple PlayStation consoles and now like frequently remastered and redistributed and put back out, never know where to jump in. And if you follow at Wildburger with I think 3 or 4 R's at the end of it, WILDBERGERRR, I believe. Her name's Jade. She's a massive Yakuza fan. Very nice person too, but major Yakuza influencer. Her Twitter alone will make you want to play these games. But I remember she tweeted something along the lines of like she wishes it was Zero that was free because Zero is such a great hopping on point because it makes Kiwami more impactful. My issue with that, just again, opinion wise, is I HLTB.com to these games, the How Long to Beat website, and Zero is like 30, 40, 50 hours. Kiwami's like 12. Those numbers are skewed. I'm not 100% right there. I didn't look them up right before I did this, but they're vast differences in completion times. And sometimes that stuff's important, to someone like me who's like, I only have like so much time to do games that if I want to jump into something, if you're like, yeah, jump into Zero, I'm gonna be like, that is a commitment that I don't know if I want to make. Whereas if I get into one, commit less time to it, I might be more inclined to check out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, come back to Zero. Time management is important to me when it comes to these games. But something to look out for. Like it said, can still change. That's all subject to change without notice. And there's about a whole other month before we're even close to seeing what the November games are. So a lot can go. That's in November, but right now, going to the PlayStation blog, where Brian Dunn, the senior marketing manager of PlayStation Now, wants to tell you about the 10 new PS4 games that are available on PlayStation Now. It's been about a week since we launched the PS4 game download feature, and we're adding 10 new PS4 games to the library this month, including Elder Scrolls Online and Sniper Elite 4, bringing the total to over 220 games. The game download feature gives subscribers the option to download almost all of the 220 plus PS4 games in service to play locally with full audio and visual fidelity and DLC and add-on support. DLC and other add-ons are sold separately, including Bloodborne, WWE 2K16, Until Dawn, Project Cars, NBA 2K16, and God of War 3 Remastered. All of the PS2 games in this service are downloadable as well. As of this week, we have also reset the 7-day trial, so anyone not subscribed to the service as of October 2nd can try out downloads for most PS4 games in this service, as well as streaming for all 650 plus games in the PS Now library. If you previously had a paid subscription or used a 7-day trial for PS Now, you can now access the 7-day trial again to see how easy the new download feature works. This is me, not the article. That's awesome. As people may have used the trial and then been like, oh, I can't download these games, and now the download function's out, you don't have the trial. For them to go back in and reset the trial is such a goodwill move and a good faith move. Props on that. The 7-day free trial, credit card required, auto renews at $19.99 per month at the end of the trial period unless you cancel or subscribe to a different subscription plan. So now's the perfect time to come back and give PS Now a try. So leading this month's batch of new PS4 or PS Now games is Elder Scrolls Online. Also available new this month is Sniper Elite 4. Other new games this month include the Beautiful Bound, acclaimed science fiction fantasy RPG Torment, Tides of Numenera, and unique titles like Styx, Shards of Darkness, and 100-Foot Robot Golf. A complete list of all new games to stream on PS4 and PC and download to PS4 includes 100-Foot Robot Golf, As Divine Hearts, Bound, Bridge Constructor, Carmageddon Max Damage, Ducati 90th Anniversary, Elder Scrolls Online, Sniper Elite 4, Styx, Shards of Darkness, and Torment, Tides of Numenera. PS3 to PS4 upgrade titles are Costume Quest 2 and Machinarium. And the most popular PS Now games during September were Red Dead Redemption, no surprise there, WWE 2K16, Bloodborne, Fallout New Vegas, Mortal Kombat, NBA 2K16, Sid Meier's Civilization Revolution, The Last of Us, Mafia 2, and God of War Remastered. Not a whole lot to talk about beyond that, Uh, we're still going to start getting into my speculation from the other week, talking about how the download function and the cross-platform play may be leading to some deeper rooted 6.0 stuff and maybe some other stuff in the future. We're going to get to that in a second. But again, if you've already used the 7-day trial, it's reset for you now, and you can use the download function. I think that's really cool. I just wanted to hit again that's such a good faith move by the PlayStation Now team and the PlayStation team in general to get more people into trying that. Uh, Going back to Jason Schreier at Kotaku, game developers say they are preparing for PSN name changes. As PlayStation users across the world wonder whether they'll ever get to change their names from or to XX underscore Goku Sephiroth 420 underscore XX, the option now seems closer than ever. Developers of multiplayer games tell Kotaku that they are preparing for PlayStation Network name changes to finally come soon. 3 people at 3 different game studios, speaking anonymously because they were not authorized to talk to press, said that in recent months they've been fixing bugs, tweaking settings, and ensuring that their games are compatible with Sony's plans. A 4th person who worked for a game studio shared a photo obtained from an internal Sony documentation of a PSN profile containing the option Edit Username. The documentation was a guide for changing one's name on the PlayStation Network, that person said. We don't yet have any sort of time frame for the feature, and those developers have suggested that as a result of how PSN IDs were originally implemented, linking your account ID to your username rather than some sort of universally unique identifier, retroactively fixing old multiplayer games might be time-consuming and difficult prospect. Sony did not respond to a request for comment. Since the PlayStation Network first launched in 2006, one of its strangest limitations has been the inability to edit one's username, leaving millions of players stuck with the handles they chose 12 years ago. That includes names they might consider embarrassing or no longer relevant to their identity. Sony's biggest competitor, Xbox Live, allows users to change their names at will. The first is free if it's the one you signed up with. Subsequent changes cost around $8. At the PlayStation Experience conference in December of 2017, Sony boss Sean Layton told Kinda Funny's Greg Miller in response to a question about PSN name changes that he hopes, quote, "You won't have to ask me about that question next PSX," end quote. The comment suggested that Sony would implement the much requested feature by December 2018, 2 months from now, except Sony said last week there won't be a PSX in 2018, which makes for a pretty good loophole. So again, I know Sony's been like, spring and summer are the 0.5 updates, fall and winter are the .0 updates. That's just the naming conventions, and stop thinking that we're Apple. The last part they didn't actually say. But again, there's just these rumored features and revealed features that are kind of showing that since this firmware, like, they're really hunkering into stuff that before they've been like, it's not possible, we can't do it. But it's a lot of good faith moves. And I don't know if that's something that they're trying to avoid PS3 Sony from showing back up, or this is gearing up for PS5 stuff too to make sure we can do it now. There's a lot. Finally, I mean, I like my username. OWL-X. I'm cool with it. I've used that for a lot of stuff in my life. Then more Alex has caught on that you could spell Alex in such a cool way, and I started not being able to get it. And so where I have it, I like to try and keep it, you know? And PSN is about my last beacon of hope of being able to keep that name. So I think that's actually that is the last thing I still have that on now. Because people started catching on in 06 that I was doing it cool. And yeah, having press X to Alex across everything would be alright, but I don't need it there. It's nice to have something a little different somewhere else, you know? Sticking with looking down Sony's future and heading to Eurogamer, where Vicky Blake is talking about how Sony has a patent that sparks PS5 backwards compatibility rumors again. A newly published patent has sparked rumors about future Sony consoles and backwards compatibility. As reported by Gear Nuke, the patent via Reset Era, entitled, quote, Remastering by Emulation, was published on October 2nd, 2018 by Sony Interactive Entertainment America. However, if you look at the file date a few lines down, you'll see the application was initially made on November 22nd, 2016. The full application, which certainly appears to be legitimate, is pretty overwhelming, but essentially details the live remastering of textures from old games and replacing them, quote, on the fly, end quote, with shiny new ones better suited to contemporary resolution displays. Quote, each asset, such as textures called for by legacy software, such as a legacy computer game software, has a unique identifier associated with it, the patent explains. The unique identifier can be rendered by imposing a hash on the asset, and then the asset stored with its identifier in a data structure. An artist remasters the textures for presentations on a higher resolution display than envisioned in the original software and stores them back in the data structure with their identifiers. The fuck does that mean? The original software is then played on the higher resolution display with assets such as texture calls being intercepted, identified, and the data structure entered to retrieve the remastered asset, having a matching identifier. The remastered asset is then inserted on the fly into the game presentation, end quote. There's also information about audio calls in the patent. While initially intriguing, a diagram accompanying the application suggests that this is the same remastering system as applied to audio files, wherein the game calls for audio. While it certainly sounds like the system for emulating older games for current gen consoles, we need to take into account the timing of this application. Would Sony be thinking about backwards compatibility for next gen consoles back in 2016, or is this more likely the technology the PS4 currently uses to run PS1 and PS2 titles on PS4 running under emulation? I don't know. That's like the one thing it's missing, right? At this point, PS Now's added downloads. We might be able to change our name soon. Cross-platform play is a thing. The one leg up that Xbox theoretically has on the PlayStation this generation is the backwards compatibility. Now, for me, I don't really ever pine to play my older games. Like, that's why I'm not itching for a PlayStation Classic, because I don't want to pay $100 for something that I'm gonna play 30 minutes of the 20 games each. And nostalgia is a hell of a drug. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, but I play Xbox 360 games on my Xbox One all the time. And my question to you is, do you really? Like, do you really venture into the vast library? Do you dip your feet into Crimson Skies? Or are you just like Red Dead and that's it? Or like GTA San Andreas, if that's one of them. Or Jade Empire, if that's one of them. Mass Effect would be great. That would be one for me that I would go back and do, because I want to play the Mass Effect trilogy again, but I don't want to hook up my PS3 to do it. EA, remaster it, you fucking cowards. Red Dead Redemption is another one that I would go back and play. And I know why the download functions for PS Now don't work on PS3, because PS3 is such a complicatedly different architecture with the cell processor and things like that, that it's not feasible. It's something that I think, though, there's so many games on PS4 that people are missing. That they're missing out on, that they're missing getting a chance to play, that if it's implemented into a PS5, that makes sense. Again, entirely all speculative. I have no idea. But if it is something that we're looking for a future console generation, I think if they did it for PS5, it's for PS4 games. Which would then, I guess, enable PS2 and PS1 games too. Which doesn't solve my Mass Effect crisis. But yeah, I don't know. As patents and rumors start to unearth, it's a not so friendly reminder how close we are to sunsetting these systems more than I think we actually know. Next story is we're going to The Verge. It's another update from Telltale. This is from Andrew Liptak of The Verge, where Skybound Games will finish the final season of Telltale's Walking Dead. The final season of Telltale Games' The Walking Dead game will be completed. The failed studio reached a deal with Skybound Games to finish the season, the development of which was halted when the studio laid off most of its employees at the end of September. At the New York City Comic Con, Kirkman told a panel that his company had come to a deal with Telltale to complete the story. According to Variety, Skybound will work with, quote, members of the original Telltale team to finish the story, end quote, although that hasn't been finalized yet. In a tweet, Skybound Games, the gaming division of Skybound Media, which was founded by The Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman, confirmed that it will wrap up Clem's story and that it will have more details soon. In September, the company abruptly laid off approximately 250 of its employees several months after co-founder and former CEO Kevin Bruner sued the company and after reports of the studio's toxic culture surfaced. In the aftermath of the layoffs, the studio said that it was working to find a new studio to complete the season of the game, which just launched last month. The studio shortly thereafter pulled the final season from retailers. So the part that this doesn't get into is we talked about how they were keeping 25 of those staff members to finish out the Netflix deal too. Those 25 people have also been laid off. That article did not discuss it, but in the meantime of talking last week with the update about the lawsuit and to coming to this week with the Skybound deal, about 48 hours before the Skybound deal was announced, the remaining 25 Telltale employees were laid off. So still gets more and more unfortunate, but I'd seen the story originally from IGN, and I quote tweeted it with talking about they're going to partner with former Telltale devs, how many, and stuff like that, unknown, non-disclosed, nor does it seem to be finalized based off this Verge article. But in the comments and the replies to the IGN story, a lot of people were asking, "Oh, are they going to pick up Wolf 2 or is Wolf 2 still saved?" And I hate to tell y'all, because I had to tell a couple people this. Wolf 2, or Wolf Among Us, is a product of Fables, which is owned by Vertigo, which is owned by DC. Skybound picking up The Walking Dead makes a ton of sense. Skybound owns The Walking, or I guess Image owns The Walking Dead, or I don't know how all that works, but Skybound is owned by Kirkman, who created The Walking Dead. So Kirkman stepping in to get a team together to finish a game that's under his brand makes tons of sense. Anything else that's being worked on outside the Netflix stuff is probably done. It's probably buried, it's shelved, it's going to collect dust, and we're never going to see it again. And that's a hard truth for some people, and I understand that, but that's the truth of the world that we're in. And it's unfortunate, and the story only gets uglier. And I don't know if this will encourage more people once it's back on retailers, back on digital storefronts and everything. If this is going to encourage more people to buy it. I'm still on the fence about it because they did a really shitty thing, and I don't want to give them money, but I am still invested and want to know how the story ends. So it's a bit of a catch-22. So I don't know. A lot of time to deliberate, I guess. But the other point that I made was if someone was going to step in to do Wolf Among Us 2, they were probably going to have to do 5 episodes of a game that wasn't profitable. Whereas with The Walking Dead, these 2 episodes were going to come out in November and December, I think it was, or October, November. I forget. I think it was November, December, or October, December. But that's only 2 episodes you have to do that were slated to be released by the end of the year anyways. So there's probably a fair amount of legwork done. So you're just kind of going in, finishing everything up, getting it out, and then never speaking of it again. So I don't think we're going to see any other Telltale properties drum up unless somebody else down the road picks them up. But if you're still holding on hope that Wolf Among Us 2 is going to be saved, I would suggest letting go and just enjoy the time you had with Wolf Among Us. It's a bummer, I know, but that's where we're at. And finishing 2 episodes is going to be way easier than finishing 5, and Skybound can't do shit about Wolf Among Us. Telltale, though, fucking mess. Going to the PlayStation blog where big ol' Sid Schumann wants to tell you about the Red Dead Redemption 2 PS4 early access content being revealed. With the release of Red Dead Redemption 2 just weeks away, we wanted to share first details about some of the PlayStation's 30-day early access content coming to Rockstar Games' deepest and most expansive world to date. Both Red Dead Redemption 2 and its multiplayer experience, Red Dead Online, will come with exciting PlayStation 4 benefits right from launch. In Red Dead Redemption 2, PS4 players will be able to customize Arthur Morgan with the Grizzly's Outlaw outfit. Come November, with the launch of Red Dead Online, PS4 players will get 30 days early access to the versatile Arabian horse featuring a custom alligator skin saddle and the High Roller double action revolver. Make sure that you have an active PS Plus subscription so that you can access Red Dead Online and check out the awesome items. But with October 26th almost upon us, read on for a closer look at PlayStation's 30 days early access content offering for Red Dead Redemption 2. Grizzly's Outlaw outfit available day one in Red Dead Redemption 2 story mode and at the launch of Red Dead Online. A slick but rugged look, the Grizzly's Outlaw outfit is perfect for exploring the forest of Ambarino. Featuring a wool-lined long coat with custom hand-tooled leather accents, a leather vest with ornate pattern details, stand wing tip collar with black neckerchief, and custom ornate buckle with matching boot tips, the Grizzly Outlaw outfit pays homage to the, quote, boss, end quote, of the northern states. It's real-world inspiration. I felt like I just was trying to sell you something very early in the morning or very late at night on the Home Shopping Network. Red Chestnut Arabian Horse, available at the launch of Red Dead Online. Known for its speed and handling, the Red Chestnut Arabian Horse is in a class above most horses you would find in the wild, with performance a step up from their first tier of available horses. The Alligator Skin Ranch Cutter Saddle, available at the launch of Red Dead Online. I'm not even taking this seriously anymore. Let's go. In addition to its stylish look, the Alligator Skin Ranch Cutter Saddle provides a number of benefits when equipped, including core health and stamina boosts, which increase speed and acceleration for the horse. This saddle is an enhanced version of the basic saddle that comes stock for players when starting Red Dead Online. The High Roller Double Action Revolver, available at the launch of Red Dead Online. Looks could kill. The High Roller Double Action Revolver features a polished steel body with a unique period-inspired, beautifully detailed engraving work. The deadly quick draw revolver comes complete with unique playing card and skull elements carved into the grip. Its superior quick rate of fire over all other revolvers make it a great choice for mounted combat. So there you go, 30 days in advance. That's the stuff you get. I'm excited for Red Dead. I put up a poll of whether or not I should still play Red Dead in January and focus the rest of the year on my backlog, or play Red Dead. And y'all want me to play Red Dead, so it looks like it's going to be Red Dead. I don't know. I can't lose either way. Maybe I'll finish Red Dead and then still get some backlog time. Last bit of news. This one came in this morning from Eurogamer. Vicky Blake again killing it over there. Guerrilla recruits Rainbow Six Siege multiplayer devs for an unannounced game. Hell yeah. Guerrilla Games has been acquiring talent from Ubisoft's Tom Clancy Rainbow Six Siege team. An eagle-eyed member of Reset Era via Push Square noticed the Horizon Zero Dawn developer had recently taken on a couple of Six alumni, including game director Simon LaRouche, who joined Guerrilla 9 months ago for a game described only as, quote, secret game is secret, end quote. This is LaRouche's second stint at Guerrilla, having previously worked on Killzone 2 before leaving the studio to join Ubisoft in 2009. Chris Lee, who'd been an online and multiplayer designer for Six, has only this month taken up the position of principal game designer on, yep, you guessed it, an unannounced Guerrilla game. So far, so what, right? Developers move around all the time, but given Lee and LaRouche's specific experience in crafting multiplayer design, it's possible Sony's next big platform exclusive, regardless of whether it's a new Killzone game or Horizon Zero Dawn sequel, with as one commenter hoped, Battle Royale as Mecha Dinos. I don't know about that. Could offer a Rainbow Six Siege multiplayer experience. I mean, that's cool. Probably Killzone. Probably another Killzone. If we're just going to be honest. If anything, I've said before, I don't think the sequel to Horizon is Guerrilla's next game. whether that means we're going to get like a remaster or we're going to get bookended this generation with Killzone games. So Shadowfall at launch and then another Killzone game at the end of the generation. I don't know. I don't know why they'd go back to Killzone, but Killzone, I think taking what they've learned from Horizon, it makes Guerrilla that much more of a reputable franchise, or reputable studio. Same that God of War did with Sony Santa Monica, same that Spider-Man does with Insomniac. The next project you do, regardless if it's a sequel that, got you to the dance, or if it's this franchise you've always been working on, it's something good to build off of. You have that clout now, so when you see the Gorilla icon pop up, you're not just like, oh god, it's another Horizon. No, not Horizon, but oh god, it's another Killzone. Instead, you might be like, okay, another Killzone that's built from what they did with Horizon. Personally, I'm selfish. I want more Horizon. But I'm guessing PS5, if anything. But we'll see. Time will tell. Last bit of news is usually your new games and dates. Truth be told, I forgot. So I don't have any new games and dates. So we'll probably have a big old list heading into next week. Just nothing. I went through the PlayStation blog. Didn't find any announcements or anything like that. And then I didn't have enough time to really rifle through 7 or 8 days worth of press releases, to be honest. So just didn't get to it. Which means it is time. I have not tested to see if this is on the right display. Let's see. Nope. Let's switch these guys over. If you were watching the video version, that got real weird for a second. Let me see if I got this right now. It's time for the drop. Here are your new PlayStation games for October 9th, 2018, as we also try to find worst cover art of the week and the Alex Derrickson Ass Game of the Week. First bit, I can't believe it. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 comes to PS4 digital and retail out October 12th. Black Ops is back, featuring gritty, grounded, fluid multiplayer combat, the biggest zombies offerings ever, with 3 full undead adventures at launch, and Blackout, where Black Ops comes to life in one massive battle royale experience. Disgaea 1 Complete comes to PS4 digital and retail. To celebrate the 15th anniversary of the Disgaea series, the groundbreaking game that started it all returns from... Excuse me, I cannot do the drop without burping. It's like the 4th week in a row. I'm sorry. To celebrate the 15th anniversary of the Disgaea series, the groundbreaking game that started it all returns for modern consoles in beautiful HD. Relive the expanded adventures of Laharl, Etna, and Flawn in Disgaea 1 Complete. Somebody just threw their radio out of their car. Evasion comes to PSVR digital. Experience the next generation of VR combat with Evasion, an intense sci-fi bullet hell shooter. Run, dodge, and unleash devastating surge attacks. Play solo or team up to save an embattled colony from swarms of lethal Optera. The Exorcist Legion VR episodes 4 and 5 come to PSVR digital. The Exorcist Legion VR is a fully interactive multi-chapter story set in the world created by horror maestro William Peter Blatty. Delve deep into the heart of the supernatural and uncover secrets leading toward a terrifying final confrontation. Home Sweet Home comes to PSVR digital. Inspired by Thai mythology and beliefs, Home Sweet Home throws players into a dark and twisted labyrinth where a miasma of fear fills the air. Dread bleeds through cracks in the ceiling and seeps down through broken floorboards. I'm going to look up what miasma means. Miasma? Because I like that word and I want to use it. 1 second. M-I-A-S-M-A. Miasma. Noun. A highly unpleasant or unhealthy smell or vapor. An oppressive or unpleasant atmosphere which surrounds or emanates from something. Mid-17th century from Greek, literally defilement, from mianianin or pollute. Plural, miasmas or miasmata. M long I, my asthma. I don't know. Learn something new. Welcome to the PlayStation Forecast. Next game. Mark of the Ninja Remastered comes to PS4 Digital. In Mark of the Ninja Remastered, learn what it is to be truly a ninja. Learn what it is to truly be a ninja. You must be silent, agile, and clever to outwit opponents in a world of gorgeous scenery and flowing animation with cursed tattoos giving you heightened senses. My Memory of Us comes to PS4 Digital. My Memory of Us is a reminiscence of a friendship between a boy and a girl, a friendship made during tough times, times of terror, pain, and exclusion, in a world where people were forced to live in two artificially detached worlds. All right. That's probably the Alex Derrickson-esque game of the week. Also, this whole, like, the game cover art, it looks like a Ravenettes cover art if you ever listened to the Ravenettes. Space Hawk Tactics comes to PS4 digital and retail. Space Hawk Tactics is a faithful adaptation of the board game Space Hulk, bringing a unique twist to the cult classic formula. Battle as either a squad of Terminator Space Marines or the deadly alien Gene Stealers. My good genes. Can wear them with my big tops. Super Blackjack Battle 2 Turbo: The Card Warriors comes to PS4 digital. Invited by the owner of the largest casino in Las Vegas and godfather of the local most influential crime family, each character will face the others in a game of cards. Only the best will challenge the godfather himself in a final match. I don't know how you make a competitive blackjack game. You're always playing against the dealer, right? That's weird to me. I can understand poker. But like a blackjack, you're going one-on-one with the Godfather at blackjack? That's not really a tactics-based game. You're going to buy insurance and double down? You're going to stay, you're going to hit. That's it. You just don't go, I don't know. WWE 2K19 comes to PS4 Digital. WWE 2K19 is the latest entry to the flagship WWE video game franchise, showcasing a massive roster of popular WWE superstars, legends, and Hall of Famers. Experience authentic WWE gameplay, creation options, and more. And that concludes your new releases for the week of October 9th, 2018. Obviously, biggest game on here is Call of Duty Black Ops. If I'm gonna pick an Alex Derrickson-esque game of the week, it's My Memory of Us. And worst cover art of the week is probably Home Sweet Home. It just looks a little messy. But that is that. With that being the new releases this week, that brings us to the final segment of the show, which is Trophy Talk. And Trophy Talk is the part of the show where I try to take you from 0 to 100 to get some big, fat plats as easy and as soon as possible. If you're worried about sullying your trophy list, I don't have anything else to tell you because you can't fucking take them with you when you die. So there's two things you can do about it. Nothing and love it. We'll take a look at Paper Dolls, which has 14 bronze, 7 silver, 6 gold, and a platinum. Now, this is something interesting for the listeners and viewers here. I don't want to call you guys forecasters. I think that's weird. But this is weird. Something sticks out here. There's some trophies here for a game that's out. It's Night Trap, 25th Anniversary Edition. Now you're wondering, Alex, psnprofiles.com/games, where you get these trophy lists, update these trophies as they come in. These are the newer games. They come up on top, right? Why is Night Trap on top? That came out a while ago. In fact, it came out recently on Switch this year, and I would tell you that you're right. But if you just take your eyes a little to the right, you will see that this is Night Trap 25th Anniversary Edition for the PlayStation Vita. Now, maybe this is something we knew about, and I didn't know about. Maybe this is something I was left in the dark in. But you're telling me a motherfucking Night Trap is coming to the Vita, and somebody didn't turn on the lighthouse on Vita Island? Somebody didn't activate the Vita signal? Somebody's shirked their responsibilities and failed to tell me Night Trap, 25th Anniversary Edition, it's coming to the goddamn PlayStation Vita. All right. 15 bronze, 6 silver, 7 gold, and a platinum. If I recall correctly, it takes some time to get. My Memory of Us has 2 bronze, 13 silver, 7 gold, and a platinum. And let's take a look at Fast Striker. That's 6 bronze, 5 silver, 9 gold, and a platinum. And we'll do Super Blackjack Battle 2 Turbo Edition, which is 0 bronze, 22 silver, 4 gold, and a platinum. We'll do Race the Sun, because that's PS4, PS3, and Vita, and that's 1 gold, 2 silver, 10, or 1 bronze, 2 gold, 10, 1 bronze, 2 silver, 10 gold, and a platinum. Oh god, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff on here that seems like they might be pretty easy. I'm pulling a lot. We got a heavy ass trophy talk time. First is Paper Dolls. 14 bronze, 7 silver, 6 gold, and a platinum. See, it's loading here. Let's see. Attacked by Nanny Chin. Attacked by Mr. Liu. Bandaged Injured Hand. Seal Mr. Liu, Solved Ming's Distress, Seal Wang Yong, Seal Ding Zhang, Seal Yin Zong, Climb the Last Stage Stairs, Solve 5 puzzles, Solve all puzzles, Solve the first puzzle, Open all doors, Complete all illustrations, Complete the game on normal mode, Complete the game on coward mode, well, hopefully those are stackable, and get S rating. That doesn't seem bad. I don't know what Paper Dolls is, but we'll take a look. We'll see. We'll see what happens when it comes out. Night Trap ones are same as the PS4 ones. I'm not gonna bore you with those. It's completing the games in different layouts. Nobody makes it out alive. There's one that's just called Shame on You. Deleted scenes. Trap 500 augers. Trap 1,000 augers. Trap 1,987 augers. Reach around 50 in Survivor, 40 in Survivor, 30 in Survivor, unlock every video. I don't know. I don't think it's a game that's hard to get the platinum in, but it's just more time consuming. My Memory of Us has... I lost it and I just shed it. 2 bronze, 13 silver, 7 gold, and a platinum. Moving the mouse here. Let's see. Finish the game. Okay. Escape from the train, find the girl in the inferior world, interrupt the photo session, find all collectibles, find half of the collectibles, put 3 apples in the basket with 1 shot, set plates on the table in 13 moves or less, complete the key with 3 or less drone route changes, find the truth behind propaganda. So it's hard to tell what these are, what these mean. There are some time-based ones, some move-based ones, so maybe not the easiest. Again, not totally sure, because I don't really know what this game is. Fast Striker, 6 bronze, 5 silver, 9 gold, and a platinum. Okay, so first 6 trophies are just completing the first 6 stages, or just all 6 stages. The next 6 are defeating each boss, and then another one for the final boss. Novice mode, original mode, maniac mode, Omaki mode, so determine on how hard the game is. Complete the game with 1 credit and defeat the true last boss. So on paper, it looks pretty easy. In principle, I don't know. Super Blackjack Battle 2 Turbo Edition. 0 gold, 22 silver, 0 bronze, 22 silver, 4 gold, and a platinum. I'm losing my mind tonight, everybody. Accumulation of 50,000 chips. You've drawn 5 blackjack in same match. Win 5 continuous rounds. Win 100 rounds. Ignore mode. You won all the hands to Tony. Win the match in the first round with a blackjack. Complete single player mode with Mock. Single player mode with each character. So some of these seem kind of luck based, like winning, drawing 5 blackjacks in the same match. That's probably not easy to do. Everything else just looks like, I'm sure I feel like it's something that you would do as you play through the game with each character. So it might not be hard. I don't know. Race the Sun is 1 bronze, 2 silver, 10 gold, and a platinum. Reach level 3, 10, 15, 20, 25. Reach 100k points in a run, 1 million points in a run, 5 million points in one run. Clear region 4 in Apocalypse. Finish 3 perfect region in one run. 6 perfect regions in one run. Collect 50 trees in air in one run and touch a cloud. That's pretty much it for those. So again, game depending might be pretty easy. Next one I grabbed is Smash Hit Plunder, which is 18 bronze, 10 silver, 5 gold, and a platinum. I'm sorry, did I read that right? I did. 8 one of everything, burned one of everything, unlocked the first dungeon, collected 3 crowns from a dungeon, unlocked free run, dispelled 50 flying animals. So some of these trophies are already being accumulated, so this might be out already. 10 items, smash 10 items at once, walked 200 ye olde furlongs. It's really hard to tell how difficult this is again. It looks a lot like Survive Mr. Cube in a way. I don't know if it's from the same team or not, but might be one to keep your eye on. Noir Chronicles City of Crime has 0 bronze, 14 silver, 6 gold, and a platinum. Find 3 hidden objects within 3 seconds. Complete a hidden object puzzle without a hint. Complete a hidden object puzzle without a mistake. Finish all hidden object puzzles without using a hint. Complete a mini game in less than a minute. This one seems like one that once the guide is out for, once somebody makes a YouTube video on it, it'll be an easy platinum. Just looking at the list here. So you can probably do it yourself, but if you want to just wait a hair, there's probably going to be YouTube videos about how to get that one done fast. And the last one, before we wrap up here, is Atari Flashbacks Classics, which is 4 bronze, 18 silver, 5 gold, and a platinum. I'm just kind of curious here. Get a top score of 99 in Air Sea Battle Shooting Gallery. Win a game of Pong against the AI without losing a point to it. Earn a point in Pong by sending the ball into the corner where it can't be reached. Take out an entire millipede with DDT in the arcade version. Solve Atari Video Cube. Get a score of 40. Get a score of 40 in Race's Solo Crash. Yeah, these aren't. Spell Skydiver. That one seems like that's going to require some effort. But that is it for Trophy Talk, which means that is it for another edition of the PlayStation.